When I say the word magic, what associations do you make? I want you to think of one word. One word, and only one word, that you associate with magic or magicians or something like that. Now, let's pretend you're going to perform this cool card trick for two people, I don't know, at work or in a bar or somewhere. You're going to perform this very cool card trick for two people. And that's what you say to them. You say, think of the word magic and now make an association. One word, any word you think of, and someone's thinking of a word and somebody else is thinking of a word, and that's how you start. You got a deck of cards. Maybe you give them a little bit of a mix-up here. What's the expression? Trust everybody, but cut the cards. All very straight up. Take the deck and divide it about in half. Okay? Like that. Very, very fair. Someone's thinking of a word. Someone else is thinking of a word. You say, look, I'm going to go through the cards. I want you to touch a card. And they can touch any card. It's totally fair. Let's say they touch a card. You out-jog it. You give them a little peek at the card. Let's say they're saying the 9 of spades. Okay? 9 of spades. First person's card. I'll even write that down. On 9. Yes, I get confused myself. 9 of spades. Second person. Change it up a little bit. So I'm going to go through the cards like this. Very slowly say stop. They say stop at any card they want. Again, totally fair. You show them the second card. In this case, the 2 of diamonds. And you mix that into the pack like that. 9 of spades, 2 of diamonds. You're both thinking of a word, right? A simple word. You're thinking of one word. Okay, what was the word you were thinking of? And let's say the person's thinking of the word tiger. Okay? You say, well, in a moment, I want you literally to spell the word Tiger down on the table. That's what you're going to do. You hold on to your cards. They're going to do it. They chose the word. They chose the card. They're going to deal it down. Say to this person, what are you thinking of? A word. And the person thinking of wand. Okay? And you go, fine. You're going to do that too. You're going to do down W-A-N-D. You're going to spell your card down on the table. They're holding on to the packets. Very fair. They choose the cards. They've seen you mix them. They're thinking of any word. They now spell it down. They do it. This person himself spells Tiger. Nothing suspicious. This person, again, the one word they thought of associated, they spelled the word wand. W-A-N-D. Wand. You ask them both to turn over their card. This person has found their own card, the 2 of diamonds, and this person has found their own card, the 9 of spades. But you say it's kind of interesting, huh? I mean, the way separately you both amazingly, in a mixed up pack, found the one card you chose. You hand the packet to one of them, either one, and you say, look, here's what I want you to do. Just deal them out. Okay, onto the table here, 4 piles, just deal them out. And they do. Now, they saw you mix the cards. They, in both times, they saw you mix the cards, both packets. You're saying, and as they deal the cards, what you could say to them is, I want you to think of a tiger and a wand. Both separate ideas that were powerful the first time. Think of them together. They deal up the cards. And they find out, and they take the cards off the top 4 cards. They saw you mix the cards, and they find out that separately the ideas are powerful, but together they're even more amazing. Now, anybody out there who's been doing card tricks for a while can probably follow what's going on, but the flow, the combinations of things, and the start, the presentation, is what makes the difference between a trick and magic. And the staging on this, the way this builds, the rule of 3, spectator's card, then the queens. I'm going to teach it all to you now. I'm going to teach you the forces, teach you how to control the cards. I might throw in a false shuffle too. I'm going to teach that all to you right now. This week I'm also going to announce the winners of last week's contest. Last week, what was I doing here? The X Factor, very cool. It's a mentalism trick of mine involving a picture of the world. Very unusual mentalism trick. As always, unless it's sold out, you can find it on SankeyMagic.com. Check out X Factor, a very cool psychic trick. 12 of you won from last week. I'm going to announce the winners in just a couple of minutes, okay? Also, let's start with the question of the week right now. And of course, the question of the week this week, no surprise, before I teach you this card trick, is leave a comment down below. And leave one word that you associate when you think of magic. There's so many different associations people have. There's ancient associations, there's religious associations, there's Las Vegas, there's sleight of hand, there's David Blaine, there's all these different kind of associations with the word magic. And I love that about magic. That's what makes it so evocative and emotional, is the associations. So leave a comment down below with one word, your word that you associate, and you'll automatically be entered into this week's contest. And this week, I'm going to be giving away 12 of my reunion mentalism trick. Okay? Reunion is this really strange, sort of coincidental with some torn cards. Easy to do. The gimmicks do all the work. 90% of the work, okay? So you have a chance to win. So leave your comment down below to answer the question. Okay, let's jump in. So the first line of any presentation is very important. It sets the tone. It also gives people a chance to get emotionally engaged. So what's an association you have when I say the word magic? What's a word you have? Don't tell me. But what's a word that comes in mind? One of the words that comes in mind when I say magic. So you're talking to these two people and you're pulling them in immediately. Now, I'm going to show you the version now that uses a shuffle deck. We won't go with that ending right now with the 4 queens, the 4 kings, the 4 aces, just with a totally shuffled pack. Okay? Take the cards, divide them in half, and they can do that. They can shuffle the cards, they can divide them. When you're doing card tricks, and you can start with something involving a shuffle deck and they shuffle, it really, the fairness of that bleeds over onto all your other card tricks, and it seems super fair. So keep that in mind. Someone shuffle the deck, maybe the other spectator divide them in half. Now, I'm going to use 2 different techniques. You could use either of these 2 techniques twice, but it's kind of fun to use 2 different techniques, I find. So one other side note. Notice there's this rule in magic. Never repeat a trick. But here you actually do. And you do it in the first performance because they find 2 cards. So you get to repeat the trick during the first performance, which is kind of fun. And of course in magic, ambitious card, linking rings. There's so many tricks that actually are better because you repeat it. So like all rules in any art form, the rules are there to be broken in a sense too. Okay. So the first person, you want to create the illusion that the person touches a card, right? You out-jog it. They can touch any card. Turn the cards over. They get a peek at the card. You top it back, and it goes right in the middle of the deck. Very fair. That's the illusion. What's the reality? The reality is you're going to spread out the cards, have someone touch a card. You're going to stick that card out. It's called out-jog. But as I turn my hand over to show them the card, what I'm actually going to do is push this card in and pull the top card out. They see the top card. And when I tap this, it's just the top card going flush back, and I do a little riffle to suggest it's in the middle, and I'm done. So how does this really look? Take a look. They touch a card. Out-jog the card. Turn the cards over. Take a look at it. Put it back in the middle. Flows so beautifully. The move is called Topper. I've done a lot of original work on it, including this adaptation of basically I force the top card. Okay? Now, having forced the top card, they think the card they touch, and they can touch. You want to change your mind? They can change their mind. I love that. They touch a card, I come up, show them the card, push it back in, drop it on the table. They would swear their ace of spades in the middle. Here I'm doing an old school, what's called a Hindu shuffle force, Hindu, Hindu. You hold the back of the cards, and I'm going to peel off just like almost 1 or 2 cards, just a couple of cards off there with my fingers and thumb, peeling them off. Someone says stop, and when they say stop, very fairly, I show the card, okay? They see the card. Then they see me peel off more cards on top of their card, clearly somewhere in the middle, but it's actually on top. So here we're using a control, and here's the secret move. So I go through legitimately, pulling them off the top onto the others, okay? Then when they stop, I show them a card, and as I come over, my tip of my middle finger and my thumb are going to grab the top card or the top couple of cards. At the back there, I'm secretly grabbing them. And as I pull cards off the top, they go back along for the ride. And notice I've got a little gap. I got a little break in there with my fingertip. So when I get to the last packet, it goes on top. Okay, and there it is, Queen of Hearts. So here's how it looks in performance. I'm going through. Say stop sometime. You say stop right there. Take a look at that card. 4 of clubs. They see it. They see me very clearly spill a bunch of cards back on top of the 4, but it's on top. All right? So they shuffle the cards, they cut the cards, they touch any cards, they call stop, any cards they want. They see me shuffle them back into the cards. Shuffle, shuffle, mix, mix, and both cards are on top. So what's next? Next, I'm going to do the spelling force, and I love this, but before I get into it, I also, stay tuned, I want to teach you a couple of these false cuts and false shuffles, okay? Here are the winners of last week's X Factor. Here are the winners right now. Finn Bobies, B-O-Y-B-Y-E-S, Finn Boobies, sorry. Finn Bobies won. Darcy W., you won. Ilona, Illona, Ilona Karot, but it's O's, Karot, you won. Shruti Lawati, Shruti. Sean Cruz with an SZ. Evan Rouse, Joshua Borden, Colin Gardner, Mark DeTulio, Caleb Little, Jan Peter Hackel, JPH, you won, and finally David Bell. I'm sure the name rings. Thank you. So those are the 12 winners. As always here at the Sankey Magic channel, if I just said your name, send an email to my team. This is the email, contact@sankeymagic.com. Let them know your YouTube name, your real name, your shipping address, and they will ship out to you X Factor, because you just won one of my cool X Factor tricks. Thank you so much. All right, let's get back to this now, my friends. So what do we have here? We have the 2 cards on top, and now we're going to do the spelling for us. I love it here, because they're both thinking of one word. This one's thinking of the word, he's thinking of sawing a lady in half, so he's thinking of the word saw. Okay, he's a horror fan. What kind of fan? Horror, he's a horror fan. And over here, this person's thinking of bunny, okay? So I walk through and tell them what they're going to do in a moment. So you're thinking of the word saw. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to spell out the word, okay? S-A-W, right down on the table, all right? Okay, very fair. What's yours? Bunny. Okay, I want you to deal down B-U-N-N-Y right down the table. Seems so legitimate. You're just demonstrating what they're doing. But you're reversing the order of the top few cards. Let me show you. B-U-N-N-Y. Okay. Ace of Spades was the person's selection. Let me leave it face up for a second so you can really understand. When I say to them, I want you to deal down, just on the table, B-U-N-N-Y, and I drop the cards back on top. What have I done? I've reversed the order, and the Ace of Spades now is in the position. So when they deal B-U-N-N-Y, their card comes to the top. And this works with any word, okay? Gazebo, Chappaquiddick, wino, all common associations with magicians. So they, by showing them what you're going to do, you secretly position the cards for them to deal down to their own card. Very magical. So they do that. And sometimes what I do, here's a performance tip, a hot tip for the pros out there. And that is that I give them the packets, and then sometimes I'll say, you're thinking of your card, you're thinking of a card, okay, and your name, your card, your word again, or what was your word again? And they say bunny, and they say saw, whatever. I have them name the word the second time, because it leaves the impression in their mind that they only shared their word once the cards they were holding in their hand. That's what a great trick does. It leaves evidence that can be misinterpreted by the mind to a more powerful and impossible effect. Okay? So anyway, you're here. You got your 2 packets here. They've dealt down their cards. You got those 2 like this. And then you say, go ahead, name your cards. Or you took the so-and-so and you took the so-and-so. And then boom. Now, that's a crazy trick. It echoes the impossibility. There's so much good theater. It's about the theme of magic. Lots of good stuff going on. What happens if you want to take it to the next level? All right. Let's say you want to take a 4 of a kind. I like the queens. The queens are kind of poetic and magical, I think. You could have, instead of the 4 queens, you could have the 4 fives. Kind of weird. I don't know. These, if you want to do this version, these start at the bottom of the deck. All right, on the bottom of the deck. Now, I'm not going to go into the details of the illogical cut. This is my variation on Gianni Mattiolo's cut. Okay, but it keeps the bottom. Okay. But of course, what you can do is you can do a riffle shuffle, where you riffle off these cards, let the first 4, 5, 6 cards go, right? And then shuffle these in. Looks very fair, but you've kept your what's called a bottom stock, okay? Or you could do a false cut, okay? Love that cut. I've taught it once on this YouTube channel at this point. Boom. So fair. And what I'm doing there is I'm pulling the bottom cards are coming, bottom half is coming off. Okay, but I don't just do this. I revolve, the larger action covers the small, as I like to say. I revolve this around here, and I turn this and do this. So the bottom packet is not being revolved. I'm just sort of going in a circle. But this packet is being revolved. All right? So, queens are on the bottom. It's boom, and then grab the front end and turn and drop. Give the cards a cut. Very convincing. Now, if someone's going to burn it, or if you did it, but if you just say, okay, here, we're going to try something, take the cards, divide them in 2 packets. Oh, wait a second, hold on before you do that. What's the expression? Trust everybody but cut the cards. A great example of using scripting to support a casual action, okay? Then you go from there. So what do you have? You got the 4 queens on the bottom. Cut the pack with the 4 queens to my right. So that's the packet. Because the Hindu shuffle packet, okay, is a legitimate mix-up, and I don't want these. So this is the packet with the queens on the bottom where I have them touch a card, show them the fake show, boom, and don't worry, they see 1 queen on the bottom. Everyone's looking at this card. No one cares, okay? So the queens are on the bottom of that one. But what's nice is they saw the cut. Maybe you did the riffle shuffle. And here they see real mix-up. In fact, here you can take the cards and give them a shuffle. And they'll swear you did this to the whole deck. Okay, even though that one really wasn't shuffled. Okay. Now I do the Hindu thing. They call stop here like this. I control this back up on top of the deck. Both cards are on top of the deck. I say going to count down your card. They count, I mime, whatever. They're both thinking of the word hat. H-A-T there. Top hat, H-A-T here. And notice that none of this disturbs the queens on the bottom. Even though it looks like you're mixing and they deal out the card, the whole thing. It really sells the idea. The cards are mixed, they're all mixed up. So at the end, when they deal their 3 and they both find their own cards or they turn them over, whatever, people are sure the trick is done. I mean, the trick is done. And I'll sometimes, leave it right there. Leave it right there. And I go, I start to gather them up. I say, it's really interesting the different associations people have with magic. I mean, you thought this word, you thought that word. But your associations are what make it really powerful. Your separate and different associations. But actually, why don't we try something where they're not separate? I'll have, how about you think of both words together? Here, grab some cards. So I've sort of let it quiet down, and then I finish. Now, you'll find, and this is sort of magical, and again, if you're new to card magic, if the bottom 4 cards are all the queens, and you ask someone to deal out the cards in 4 piles, as long as they go left to right or right to left, and they don't break the pattern, you don't want them starting to deal like this. They have to go in one steady line, It'll always bring the 4 queens to the top. So you've got this secret weapon here. They dealt them out. They was thinking of the 2 words. You finish by going, together, and I like to do it like this. One, very fair. Individually, they are very powerful. But together, I got to say, even I'm impressed. Boom! Hard to follow that card trick. A lot of theater there, a lot of really cool. So there you have it. Hope you guys really enjoyed it. Do not forget to leave a comment down below. I want to give away. I'm going to be giving away my reunion mentalism packet trick. Very cool card trick. Want to give that away next week in my next video. So don't forget the question of the week. Leave a comment down below and tell me, what's one word you associate with magic or magicians? Thank you as always for watching, guys. I hope you have a beautiful holiday season. I wish you all the best. I wish your family all the best, your community, your neighborhood. We are all here together. We're all here together. So I wish everyone a beautiful holiday season, whatever celebration you happen to have. Lots of fun food, good drink, all that stuff. And I hope 2020 is an amazing year for you. Every time I say 2020, I think of, 2020 is the year of hindsight. I guess something like that. Anyway, subscribe to the channel. Have some fun. And look for that magic. It is out there. And continue to share the beautiful gift of wonder with people. Bye.